my people, episode 6. All right, so if you joined me on the last one, the last couple, that's one of my sadder stories. It was my first one, and I don't know if you watched it or not, but lost my passport, got stranded in Europe all alone. No ID, no food, no money, no phone numbers, no phone, no nothing. And it was really depressing. But this week is one of my favorite tours, at least one of the ones that I had the most fun on. And it happened right after that tour, or not long after. I was with Psychiatric Regurgitation, a grindcore band from Dallas, and I had just joined them right before I did Prophecy. So as I had joined Prophecy, I had done a couple shows where I played a couple songs, basically. I met Dylan in Shreveport. We booked a show with Cancer Whore. He had a band, When Life Has Ceased, and came to Shreveport, and then they booked us. It was this Metal Up Your Ass festival in Dallas with Vader headlining and Cataclysm, so it was a big deal for us. We're still in high school at the time. So that's how I met Dylan, and the relationship continued. We see him at all the shows and stuff. Well, I remember I went to visit him. I think I don't know why I was in town necessarily. Maybe I just came for that show. I don't know. But it was at the Lone Star, and Psychiatric was playing. Because at first it was just Dylan as a one-man band. Then he got Brandon on vocals. And I remember seeing them and thinking in my head, like, man, I could play this shit. Like, I should play drums for them. And I probably asked them that night. So not long after that, I played my first show with them. And I hadn't really learned other people's shit yet, so it was really difficult. And we played the Summer Slaughter tour, the very first one, Necrophagist headline. And I literally only knew 2 songs, and they're probably only a minute long. So I shouldn't even have played the shit, but we went up there and we just kind of played the same song 3 or 4 times, basically. But the crowd ate it up, dude. It was a fantastic crowd and response. So even though I felt like it was a nightmare because I'm just on stage fuck, I don't know this shit, they ate it up. So that went pretty well. I remember I got lucky on that tour too. I ended up getting a all access badge. Like I said, I'm still in high school. I'm 19 or something. I'm probably older than that. I don't know, something like that. But I go back to get some food, and it's decapitated, cephalic carnage, cow decapitation, I think dying fetus. It was it was an incredible lineup. And it's just they're all around me. I'm holy shit. Trying to be cool or whatever. Another thing about that show is I remember I was wearing a Keep It Fucking Brutal shirt, which is a Tony Cole shirt. My favorite artist. Shout out to Tony Cole. And Coven saw it, the singer for Decapitated, and he wanted to switch shirts with me. But Tony literally sent me that shirt because he's a fan of my drumming, and I'm I can't just give him my shirt. And then it wasn't long after that, the bus accident and stuff. So I just remember that, and I was man, I should have gave him my fucking shirt. Poor Coven. But so yeah, after the Prophecy tour, I gotta get into this. I come back, and there was a show it was a 420 show. It was Prophecy, Cancer Whore, and Psychiatric Regurgitation. So obviously, I'm not getting along with Prophecy. I'm pretty much ready to quit. This was my last show. And I remember they weren't on the show, but James begged me to play. So I'm okay, we can play, but you're not taking Cancer Whore or Psychiatric spot. You're going to play before. So I go up, and there's no James. He tried to pull a fast one and basically say the promoter said that we're playing. I'm nope, dude. And I basically talked a lot of shit, and that was my last show with Prophecy. So Dylan hits me up about maybe doing a tour, Psychiatric and Cancer Whore, and I'm all about it. So for whatever reason, Cancer Whore ends up not being able to do it, and Hyperion jumped on, which is Eric Park's band from Devourment, old drummer for Devourment. Their band is now Rod of Obsidian, great band. And so yeah, they jump on, they're all good dudes, and so I was totally stoked for that. And Eric's roommates, John and Josh. It took me a second. from Forever Morn, which is like a black metal band out of Dallas. Super cool dudes, and man, so many memories of that house. But basically, they had a tour van. So yeah, we're like, got 2 bands, we got a van, we're ready to do this shit. So I remember, like that first, I remember I had to sell my bass for one to have some money because I just didn't have fucking any money. So I had like $400 for the whole. It wasn't a long tour. It was like weekend to weekend. But I remember waiting the day before the tour or the night, and I didn't sleep a fucking wink. I was so excited. And the difference between this tour and a lot of my other stories that I'm gonna tell is like I was tight with all of these people. Like everyone in Psychiatric, I love to this day. Everybody in Hyperion, I love to this day. So it was one of 2 tours where I kind of either booked it myself or helped book it in cities that I'm familiar with, kind of, and with friends. And it just was that's what you want. That's my advice to any youngins trying to tour. Man, those do-it-yourself fucking with your homies tours are the best. When you're doing session stuff and there's so much on the line, man, that gets really stressful. So honestly, this tour and the Cancer Whore tour that we did, I probably had the most fun on because there was just no stress. It was just all party, really. But so yeah, we get it. They pick me up. We start. Like I said, there's not like tons of crazy shit going on. We played a couple of like Jacksonville was the big like weekend show. So we had 1 or 2 along the way, like somewhere in Mississippi. I honestly don't remember. I couldn't find the tour itinerary for this. But we had a couple shows. Nothing too great. Just fun. And we end up crashing like on the beach. I think we get to Jacksonville kind of like dusk. Towards the end of the night, you know. We get really drunk. We stumble up on the beach. We end up seeing a couple of strangers. We start talking to them. We're like, yeah, we're a metal band. And like literally within 2 minutes of the conversation, they name drop Devourment. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, he's in Devourment. And I don't think they ever believed me. But I thought that was so wild that was the band. They're like, ooh, like Devourment? So I remember, yeah, me and Eric crash. I think, man, I'm so foggy on these memories. I hit up Eric to help me remember. He couldn't remember shit either as far as the order of everything. But I know Mark was sick, so he got a hotel. We crash on the beach. Beautiful night. Wake up to the sunrise. Like, I remember it being like majestic. It was just like perfect weather. Waking up, it was really awesome. So since Mark got a hotel, we all basically steal the continental breakfast and hang out around town until the show. So we go to the venue, and we played with Man Bear Pig, which is no longer around, but they were a cool-ass band. E.J. Henney was the drummer, or Haney, I'm not sure you say his name. And yeah, Michelle was the bass player. She passed away a few years ago. Awesome, awesome girl. She helped promote the show. I remember calling her, or she called me. She's the one that actually booked us on the show. So I don't know who booked the actual show, but she helped get us on it. It was like them and Cystic Dysentery. So I met Ben that night, Kyle, fucking Nick Harper was there. I've continued my friendship with him. So a lot of cool people. I really like Jacksonville a lot. I've played there a few times since then. But I just remember that being a really epic show. And we go to like party at Ben's house. And I remember, on the way, we stopped by Crystal Burger. Eric's driving. You know, he looks like a fucking caveman. He's got dreads and a big beard. So he's hanging out in the window, and this random, like, tattoo apprentice chick, I don't even know, ends up hopping in the van with us. Like, they start talking. She hops in the van, and we end up taking her to this after party. And I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I guess I was just kind of drunk. I'm like, I'm on tour, woo, mode or whatever. But once I got there, Michelle's like, who is that? I'm like, yeah, she's from Texas. She's like, no, she isn't. And it kind of dawned on me, we're at Ben's house and some stranger. So then I felt bad. And I don't even know what happened to her. I don't remember her, like what happened to her. Because I don't think we had cell phones at the time. So anyway, go to Ben's house, party really hard. I remember waking up and Alex Moore, face down on the goddamn porch. I'll see if I can find that picture. There's a picture of him just fucking face down on a fucking porch, blackout, drunk. And yeah, so I remember that goes hard. Grover, the drummer, comes, or I think he was just up all night. I think he was like literally the last man standing all night. Kyle Sweeney shows up, smokes us out, and then Grover takes us to the beach again for like a final kind of hoorah before we head up to probably North Carolina. I think we played Volume 11 after that, so we had to shoot up there. It was basically like a Shreveport, Hattiesburg, I think, Jacksonville, North Carolina, Nashville, Dallas, Denton. Maybe a couple more, but that was the gist of the run. It was like a total southern, you know, Texas to Florida to Nashville, back to Texas. So, yeah, we go to the beach, and that goes pretty hard. There's a couple pictures of me getting wasted at that show. And then we basically start looping around Volume 11. One thing I remember, like, none of those shows were overly special. See, I'm trying to think of all the places. The Muse in Nashville. Yeah, anyway, pretty good shows, nothing too crazy. And but the van, that's the issue. Like the fucking van, from the get-go was overheating. So we're literally pulling over, dare I say, every couple of hours, if that, maybe every hour, to refill the fucking radiator with water from the beginning. So it was like from weekend to weekend, especially from Jacksonville. Now we got long drives. Our van is running like fucking shit, dude. And we're all pretty fucking broke. Like, if that van would have broke down, we would have been so fucked. And it didn't break down, which is fucking incredible. But, just had to keep adding water. As long as we kept our eye on the shit, it never overheated. So, yeah, we basically roll around, and I guess after that, we shoot down to back to Shreveport. And this is about when things get interesting. Okay, so this is good. So we go to Shreveport, and I really don't remember who played. Maybe Cancer Whore played too. I guess it's irrelevant. But Evan Schaffner, he was in Cancer Whore, but he was mainly in Malignant Spawn, who I've jammed with him recently. I've jammed with him a lot of times, but he's been among the group for a long, long time. He was at this show. So here's the players involved. Lindsay is the bartender. Jack is a guy who I'll explain in a second. Guy 1. So Jack wants to sleep with Lindsay. Guy 1 is just an old guy who is renting a room upstairs. He's at the show. He's being cool and nice. So the show wraps up, and Lindsay's basically making last call, or I think she's saying the bar's closed. Guy 1 requests one more drink, and Jack basically pulls a "she said leave, motherfucker" type of shit. So Guy 1, who's like 50 to 60, not looking for trouble at all, he's panicked, and old boy here is literally like fucking, "Yeah, motherfucker," outside, like he's getting all pumped up. He's literally like at a 10. "I'll beat your fucking ass, motherfucker. Get the fuck out." Like, whatever. So he ends up getting kind of pushed out into the hallway, and he's still just running his mouth. Evan comes in and kind of puts his hand on his shoulder, and he's like, "Hey man, you just need to smoke a joint." He looks at Evan and says, "You need to mind your own fucking business." And it was that quick. So it's hard for me to, with one hand, imitate what happened, but it's this fast. "Hey man, you need to smoke a joint. Mind your own fucking business." Pop! So it wasn't even a super hard punch. It was like it's kind of like a pop. I call it an Evan punch, which is basically like a bitch punch. Not like he punches like a bitch, but it makes you look like a bitch. It's like a pap. A little pop on the nose if you're talking shit, see if you want to keep doing this shit. And so he basically pop, nose starts bleeding. There's like a standoff because old boy's at a 10. He's ready to fight. Now he just got punched in the face. and now he ain't doing anything. I mean, he literally jumping, fuck you, pat, nothing. Blood trickles down. We're all expecting a brawl. Nothing happens. Lindsay comes up, stop, break it up, or whatever. David Weekly, Ninja David, he was kind of next to me. I guess he knows him somehow. Jack walks up like, I want numbers, man. We're all just like, numbers? He's right there, motherfucker. And I remember Evan even walked past him like straight. Just, old boy could have fucking bit. Didn't. It was so insane. I've never seen such a bitch in my life as far as all talk. Worst case scenario. So it goes to the back. We're all basically loading out, trying to leave. Lindsay is at the door, and Evan is on his knees, basically like, I'm sorry, I fucked up, And, you know what? No, hold on. He says something. Okay. Sorry. This is fucking hilarious. As he's talking to her, everything's kind of cool. And he goes something along the lines of like, what it ultimately it ends with, fucking whore, like right to her face. And then she just fucking starts crying. Then he gets on his knees begging for forgiveness. Meanwhile, Mark pulls his pants down and starts walking with his pants around his ankles. Like, what? Being awkward as possible. In my head, this is just the funniest fucking moment. From Evan saying, punching the dude for one, you fucking whore, like, what? To Mark's pulling his pants. It's like, whoa. So as this is all happening, Jack, who ends up being like kind of a rich boy, whatever, he's got like a black fucking Camaro or some shit, pulls by the, we're behind the building in this like alleyway. You hit like a bitch. Evan's walking up, he fucking peels out. It's like, God, what a fucking pussy. So that was definitely the highlight of Shreveport. So now we go to Dallas. I have to do a little backstory here. There's a guy named Death Metal Dave, the Hillbilly, out of Dallas. He had a website called deathmetal.us, and he's a really cool guy. I mean, he always was cool to me. He was really tight with Wayne Knupp, which was the original singer for Devourment. And when I was on the Prophecy tour, Wayne Knupp died, and they were like inseparable. So once that happened, he really lost his shit. And he got notorious for picking fights at death metal shows. So he's a pretty big old boy. He's definitely a tough fucking son of a bitch. And I might have been one of only 2 people that he did not fuck with. Because I played drums, I don't know what the fuck it was. He always bought me drinks and kicked someone else's ass. And one particular show, it was a Decrepit Birth, Black Dahlia? No, Hate Eternal, Decrepit Birth, I think. It's not really important. So we're at the show in Dallas, and he tries to pick a fight with several people, but one of them is John Beach Metal, the guy from the black metal band, whose van we use and all that shit. Good friends. So yeah, he's my homie, stop. And I remember John mentioning earlier, like, man, this fucking guy, he's like a bully. His name is the Hill Bully. So I stopped him from fighting like 4 people that night. And eventually, my guitarist, Jeff, he fucks with him. And not really, just kind of fucking with him. And then Colt, my other friend from Shreveport, walks up trying to stop it. I break it up again. I'm like, hey, he's my friend from Shreveport. He goes, oh, okay. And then Colt's like, I'm just saying, you don't fucking touch. And then Dave, blah, punches him right in front of my face, knocks him out cold. I was like, damn. So that was a heavy day. So anyway, that's the Hillbilly. He tried to pick a fight with Frank Mullen because he threw a song out to VTech, and he cornered him in the back and was like, how dare you come to Dallas and not dedicate a song to Wayne Knupp? Fuck VTech. He's like crying and shit. It's like we're all just waiting for him to like swing on or just even touch Frank, so we're all going to jump him, which that didn't happen. So anyway, that's the Hillbilly. We come to Dallas. It's at the Lone Star. We're playing with Anal Blast. Don Decker's final tour before he died. So early on, here comes Hillbilly. He's in everybody's face. Don Decker and him are squaring off. And it was just like, that just kind of kept happening. It was real tense. So as, I guess the show was over, we're leaving. I'm in Dylan's car. And I look over and I see the door fly open and Hillbilly gets shoved out. And I'm like, stop the fucking car, bro. And I grab my camcorder and start to film. And this footage is lost forever, unfortunately. But basically, this band, Divine Pestilence, and the guys from Anal Blast, and a few others, jump this fucking dude. He gets up. They jump him again because he fucking starts attacking him again. He gets up, attacks him. I mean, he's like bleeding profusely. Won't fucking... He's like a Terminator. So I had all this on footage. It was like a really epic moment. Everybody's like, God damn. So yeah, that was the Dallas show. Pretty wild. And then we go to Denton. And I don't even remember the show, to be honest. But I remember that I take a bus. And like, no surprise, by the end of it, I am dead broke. I think I have 50 cents. Mark... I don't remember the situation, but basically Mark takes me to the bus station, and I go from Denton to Dallas, and it's like a layover. So there's a situation where I'm waiting for my bus to get called, and I remember hearing them say Shreveport like 30 minutes early, and I'm like, that's way too early. And the next thing you know, it's been an hour, 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God, I missed my fucking bus, dude. And I start to fucking panic because, as you know, my last tour I got stranded. So now I have like PTSD. I'm super, like, major anxiety about being stranded somewhere. So I wait a little bit longer. Next thing you know, it's been 3, 4. Now I know I've missed it. So I use my change and I call Dylan. He doesn't pick up. I don't get my change. Now I'm broke. So now I'm like full of rage and panic. I punch the wall. Maybe 3 times. I feel like I was like, boom, boom, boom. It was like echoed. This short cop with blue latex gloves walks up and says, hey, don't punch my wall. I said, all right, sir, I'm really in a bad, he's like, someone punched my wall yesterday and I maced him. I said, okay, I understand. I'm just really stressed out. Mace. And I'm like, dude, okay, I fucking get it. So I explain what happened, and he explains that it isn't like a plane. I can just hop on the next bus. So, yay. So I calm down. I get my new ticket. I'm sitting there, and I'm taking a little nap because I got like a lot of time to kill. And I wake up to screaming, and I see a big black dude on his belly handcuffed, talking shit or whatever, with old, short, white cop fucking macing him in the fucking face. So this motherfucker's job is to sit at a goddamn crazy bus station in Dallas and mace motherfuckers all day. There's no telling how long he had this job. He's probably not even a real fucking cop. He's just some fat fuck that got a security job at a bus station. So that was fucking nuts. And that's pretty much where it rolls. I fucking take a bus home. I probably had to fucking walk from the bus station home. I don't really remember. I'm foggy there, but that's the gist of it. The macing cop is always the story that I end up telling from that story. But it was a great time, man. The van made it. Everyone made it home. I almost got stranded, but not really. Just for like a couple hours. And yeah, man. So that's that. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Do what you can to help you out, because I really appreciate it. And there's 4 more episodes coming up, so I will see you next Monday, brothers.